afternoon, everybody. Friday. Can you believe it's the 31st of May already? Tomorrow, we're into June. I mean, of course, we're celebrating because we've got a live event in Stoke-on-Trent. So really looking forward to that. So hoping for some nice weather as well. That would be nice. But yeah, June the 1st tomorrow. Halfway through almost. But yeah, we're not going to worry about that too much right now. The sun is a little bit trying to come out. So not complaining. It's all dry outside. And we're on tile 446. I know, it's lovely, isn't it? So I've got a nice one today. Well, hopefully they're all nice. That, you know, some I know you're going to like better than others, but everybody has different tastes, and I do try and accommodate that where I can. But what do I have with me today? Tile. It's a white tile. Not done anything else with it at all. I've got all my pencils with me, but I think I'm going to go watercolour. Pen, pencil, tortillon and a rubber, of course. And I've got a ruler because I want to do a bit of a straight edge. So shall we get started? I'm going to come in with pencil to go with, and of course my ruler. And you can use any straight edge. Look, I have actually, look, Mum, I've got it bandaged, so it's all safe. Actually, sometimes I do take it off a little bit because let's find the middle first, because it just can get in the way a bit. Okay, here we go. So find the middle. Okay, found the middle. And what I want to do, I want to imagine I've sort of got, it's not going to completely fill the shape. So let's have a look. What does that kind of measure? That looks about right. So yeah, a couple of centimetres either side. That's fine. So here we go, a couple of centimetres. Turn it round and a couple of centimetres. Because what I want to do is put myself a box in there. So I'm going to sort of do it by eye. Okay, so the measurement was just to give you a bit of an idea. And of course, I can use the edge of my ruler there to make sure I get a decent enough shape. Don't worry if it's not exactly, it's fine. It's always fine. It's just giving you an idea of, you know, what kind of size we're going to do in the middle here. There you go. Okay, so there's my little shape. At this point now, I can remove those little lines there. I'm going to keep the cross in the middle and get rid of anything around that outer edge. So I'm keeping it nice and neat and tidy as I go, okay? Having said that, look, that's not very straight, is it? All right, let's get that ruler back on, because it's not my tile, it's me. It's most definitely me. That's better, look. Okay, got a bit of a shape going on. All right, so what I do want to do is put myself a little border around that. So if I come in, I'm not going to measure this time. Put myself a thin little strip around the edge there. Again, all in pencil, because I might not keep it all. It might change. Well, it will. I know, because I know what we're doing, because I've planned. And then in the middle here, I'm going to put myself a smaller square. Let's sort of sketch it in place so I can see where it is. Yeah, that's fine. And so come on in again, straight edge, one there, one there, and one in there, and one in there. Okay, so I've got that kind of a thing going on. I don't actually need that middle bit now, so I can get rid of it, so it's all nice and clean and tidy. Okay, apart from my look at my desk. All right, next bit then, what I want to do now is I'm going to come in with pen. So I'm going to use my 03 as per usual. And then this bottom corner, but again, you can use this bottom corner if you want. I'm going to sort some bubbles. You can use your bubbles there. I'm probably going to aim for something, I don't know, these two. So that's, if I count from the largest, 1, 2, 3 and 4 down. So if I sort of show you what I'm going to do, let's put a large one in there. And maybe one there. But please feel free to draw these freehand. You don't need to use this, but I have put them in pen. I'm going to put a smaller one there as well. Okay, happy with that. And yeah, that's fine. Okay, so let's go up a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So if I start with the largest, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put curves either side like that. And then if I turn it round and put curves either side, you know, in the space I've got there. And then again, either side. So I'm going to keep doing that, you know, and turning it round. Then either side. And the next one. Oh, Kathy and Janet, we're excited. I'm looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow. We're going to have a bit of fun. So, yeah, assuming I can fix the TVs, which I can, it's fine. All right, and this one. And last one. Okay, so I've got that kind of a shape going on. So, being that I've got 3 more, I'm going to do the same, but, you know, turn your piece around a little bit. So you're going to start in a different position, you see? We don't want them all looking exactly the same. They look like they've moved a little bit. And this way. Oh, make sure I join it. And that way. And keep going. And this one. So, of course, it depends on how wide your little strips are, these, as to how many you can get in there. If you want to go a bit smaller and you think, oh, I don't really know how to do that, then you can always break out an O2 pen, and that'll give you smaller or thinner lines. So it will mean that you have to put a few more in. But that will, of course, it will increase the detail bits and pieces there. Okay. So, see, you're just going to keep going with that. Once you're confident with it, you still move your piece, of course, but when you get to these smaller ones, it might just be worth drawing them in there. Let's do another. I'm going to go this way. Into that one there. You see, so the first few, definitely, you want to be turning your paper. It just makes for a nicer shape. Keeps it sort of in that flow. Of course, you're going to be looking over the top of yours. I'm looking through a camera at mine, so there you go. All right, so we've got those little bits. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to put at the top here, we're going to put a couple of those lovely little bobble shapes that we like. So let's do one that way as well. Top there. Let's get a couple in there as well, just so. Little ones, and maybe a couple there, look. And then most definitely we're going to bring some along the top there. Let's do, I'm going to put 3 in, look. There you go. All right, so we've got that going all the way around the outside. So on the opposite edge, what I'm going to do is I'm turning it round and work on this corner. I'm going to put a few little leaves. So let's start with a little curve. And then I'm going to come around. So make a real thin banana kind of shape. And then a little bobble that side. Bobble that side. Okay. And let's follow that round. Like so. And then same again, like so. I'll go back on that. You know, sometimes you don't want to be angling your pen if you can help it. My camera's a bit close, so. Okay, let's have a little look at that. You see? So I'm going to do a few more of those. So let's bring another one out here. Like so. And little loops. And then let's go round and round. So you've got that. And let's put another one down here. Just want a little bit of interest in this little corner there. Oh, Benji's obviously lost interest. He's having a wander round. So that's not me tap dancing, that's him. He's looking for biscuits. I think he's eaten them all. So, yeah. Okay. Next little bit then, what I want to do inside here is I'm going to come in with a couple of little lines. So let's have a look at this. Start with a pencil and put myself some marks, see, in the sort of the middles there. Okay, and then I'm going to use my straight edge and I'm going to go from this point all the way up to here. Okay, so from this point up to there. All right, and then I'm going to go from this point up to there. So I'm forming a triangle in that corner space there. You see? So I'm going to do that all the way around. So again, from that point into that corner, and then from that point into that corner. And of course this one, you can still see it because we've got the pencil line. If I just go in a little bit, see, I can still see my corner because I've not got rid of my pencil lines. I'm going to draw it, of course, up to the shape I've done. Same here, like so. Then around again. From there now I can see the corner, it's not completely covered. And the same with this one. So far we've got that shape. Okay, so the next little bit, what I want to do here is I'm now going to sort of imagine, oh, not with a tortillon, with my pencil, I'm going to put this mark up here. You see, up there, and there, and there. Okay. And then I'm going to join those marks together, going across. Oh, can't quite hold a ruler when you've got a bandage on. So I'm going to go across the triangles. You see? And again here, although I can't quite see everything, I'm going to come across there straight over those triangle shapes. Same with this one. Okay, I'm going to draw in that square in the middle now as well. And actually, I'm going to draw in any of the outer frame as well, whilst I've got my straight edge out. Okay, same in that one. And down there. So everything now will be in pen. And that one, so let's do that little line there. That one. And that one. So let's have a look where we're at. Okay. There you go. So far, so good. We've got that kind of a shape. So what I want to do now, again, coming in with pencil, because I'm going to mark about the middle of this piece here. Okay. Do that on each one. Way around. And then if you need to, again, I'm going to imagine halfway between this one and this one. So it's there, look. And halfway there. So again, if you want to do that all around, I mean, you're still going to mark it even though I'm not going to go in the whole thing there. Like that. And then, as before, I'm going to join this one to this one to this one. So I'm sort of getting a bit of a square in that corner, I would say. Okay, if it's not square, don't worry. I want sort of more of, it's more interested in those three shapes, really. So same here, look. And there. And in that one there. So from there, again, moving it up. And this one. And same again. So I've got this is going to there, look. And this one is going to there. So I've got it's a different sort of shapes going on there. Okay, so far so good. You see where I've got this point and this shape here? I'm going to come in and put that line in. Okay, if it's a bit bendy, don't worry about it. We're going to put that in. All right. Okay. So what I want to do now with the whole thing is I'm going to draw around the whole shape. Not too far away and not going to sort of do any seriously sharp points. I'm going to come around, look, and I'm going to follow it round. So it's slightly curved. All right, quite close. All the way around. Of course, you know, stop and start as you need to and turn your page or turn your piece, whatever you're working on. And so you've got that continuous flow of that shape going around it. See? And curving those little edges as you get to it. Around we go. So as they come round here, again, if you want to use that straight edge for that, feel free. It's going to come up and around there, see? Around this one. And I'm going to stop just slightly short because I think I'm going to put border around there. But let's continue with going around the shape here for now. You see, stop and start as you need to. And pick it up again. And then come on round. And then again, look. Around that shape. Along we go. And around there, stopping a little bit shorter of the edge, see? And what I can do with my straight edge, come on in, and I can put that border in. Okay, so same in there, on that line there. And that one there. And then this one, look, I can join to that point there. Like that. You see? Okay. So now I'm going to look for any little points. See, I've got a little sort of point there. So I'm going to come in and fill that little bit in there, like that. Sort of same with the edge. Little bits in there. So have a look at yours and see where you think that you've got these little dips. So you can come on in and put that little sort of curve in and fill it in. Just sort of easing off those little shapes there. See one in there? Look, you don't have to sort of have them at the same size. See this one here? Look, I'm going to fill that one in as well. Get that one done. Little bits in there. And then I'm going to do those edges. Okay, so let's do the same again. Find your space to sort of start that you're comfortable with, and I'm going to come on in and put another row all the way around. Now, of course, depending on how close you are, depends on the sort of the finished result. So I'm going to sort of stop there because I'm going to go back round there. See, so actually I'm going to use, just to help me out, my straight edge, because it's quite a long row that, see? And then I'm going to come in freehand and go round that curve. Let's just feed that in. And then same thing. Oh, but I like to see what I'm drawing, if that makes sense. I don't want to do it sort of blind. Oh, let's put that in. And then around that corner there. And then same again, look. Going to come around that corner, see? Follow it around. And then this last little stretch here, along we go. Into there. And then come round and along. You see, I'm not going to go into there at all. And I'm going to come down there. Follow it round. So it's sort of going through whatever you've done before. There's no big crazy sort of piece that you've got to follow or change shape or anything. Just going around what you've already got as you go. See, following those little bumps. And then joining back up where you started. Okay? So let's change this line up a bit. I think first I'm going to come in and fill any of those little sort of corners in, just as we did before. I'm not going to do that one this time because it's already round, so that's fine. But have a look at yours and think, you know, however many you want to put in, it's fine. See, I'm not going to worry about those ones. Maybe there, look, there. All right, and not on there, but definitely that one again, look. And a bit in there. You see? Okay. So before I draw around it again, I'm going to change the shape a little bit, and I'm going to come and bring some of those little bobbly type of shapes in. You know, just like we did there with those little circles or bubbles, depending on how you drew them. So let's put one in there and one there. So don't worry too much, or don't try and overthink where you're going to put them. We just want to change that shape a little bit. So I'm sort of doing twos. You can just do one if you want. And see, under that one, look around the edge there. And bring some in, sort of on that top border as well. See, maybe one in there. So I'm keeping those quite close, see? All right. So let's draw around that and see what that happens there. Now, as I get close, see there, I've got to stop. That's okay. So I can come back round. And then round there. And keep it going. You could do this in different colours, couldn't you, if you wanted to. And maybe, I don't know, start with a dark colour and get them lighter, or vice versa. It's quite nice to sort of do. And, you know, maybe change the shapes even. You could do that centrepiece in as anything. You could do a nice little heart if you wanted to. Okay, so you see here, look, I'm going to have to sort of work it up bank, and I'm going to kind of stop there, because then I'm going to follow this one round. Let's have a look. So see, I'm sort of working backwards now, but let's see where this leads. If they don't join, please don't worry about it. It's going to be part of, you know, a whole image, so you're not really going to notice that slight little mark, or where it doesn't quite meet. It doesn't matter. Okay. So, again, like following it round until I can't really go any further. You see? So now we've got these little sort of gaps. So last thing to do with those is, I don't know, maybe this one, look, it's going to sort of do that kind of a shape. So fill in whatever you can and look at your own piece, and you'll sort of see that you've got little gaps that have opened up as well. As you sort of work your way around. And again, if you want to put some of those, see like here, one of those little filled in areas, go ahead and do that. Just breaks it up a little bit. So see here, look, I can, let's just fill that in. I can do another one. And then it's up to you whether you want to do another one or not. See, I've got a nice little contour there, so I'm going to leave that one and put some in there. And this one, this is sort of the last of my shapes. So let's see what this is going to kind of look like. I think you get into that mode as well of starting to draw around it. And it sort of becomes a little bit more of a free flow. So, wander around as you go along. And see, I've got two little gaps left. I'm going to put one in. Don't want to leave the other. I'm going to leave that one because you can see I've got that one there. This one, however, I am going to put a little bit more in there. So they're going to sort of become little islands almost in the middle. Okay. All right, I'm going to put my pen down now. I'm going to rub out those pencil lines, you know, that we'd got in the middle area, just to get that going. Oh, a little bit there still. Oh, see, that's why, because I should have a line there. So that's my kind of shape. So, okay, first things first, I'm going to bring some coloured pencil in. I say I'm going to use my watercolours today. It doesn't really matter what colour you sort of go with. I'm going to go with my, let's have a look, my reds. Let's have a look. So what do I have? Now, again, please don't worry about the numbers or getting this right. I'm just going to work with a few slightly different colours, but all within the same family. So they're all kind of reds. So you've gone red, orange, yellow, and I've brought in a bit of that sort of real dark red as well. Okay, so let's go in a little bit. And I'm going to start with, let's have a look, a little bit of the darker one. So let's just get rid of that bit of pencil there. And let's put a little bit of that darker one sort of in the middle. Now the beauty with watercolour pencils is you don't really have to sort of blend them because that's what the water's going to do, you see. And I'm going to have a little bit of it in here, and a little bit there. Now the trick to this is not to have it symmetrical and not to have it, you know, pieces in the same. I'm going to leave a couple as well, so you see it's sort of quite random. I know we don't like random, but it is a Friday and we do need a challenge for the weekend. Okay, see, a little bit randomish. So I'm going to come down to my next colour. I'm going to add a little bit of that over the top there. Again, not going to worry too much about direction. You notice though, when I get to sort of the edge of the lines, I'm not doing a straight line. It's sort of a rough kind of bit. It just makes it easier to blend. A little bit more there and a little bit in there. See? So again, in places I'm adding, I'm not particularly thinking about where I'm adding. It's just more or less little bits. A bit there, look. See? So I'm going to do that with all my colours. I'm going to add a little bit of that in the middle as well. This is sort of a lighter red. I'm not going to do too much of that because I think it needs it. A bit of orange. Again, I'm going to put a bit of that in the middle. But there, I'm not going to put too much orange with that darker red because I don't want it to mix in too much, you know. A bit there, look. You see, it's sort of around the piece. And then I've got a bit of yellow. It's kind of a bright yellow. So again, I'm not going to get that too close to that darker red there. I'm just going to add a few little bits in. Okay. So let's bring a bit of water in and see what happens there. So dip your water in your brush. Sorry, dip your brush in your water. What am I drinking? Dry it off with the hands sort of slightly, you see, so you can see it's not got too much water. And let's start with the middle one. And now what I'm going to do, see, as I actually bring it in, it's going to dry very quickly because there's not a lot of water on. You see it's forming that line. I'm going to go back into my water, dry it off, and then come back in. You see where that line is? And it's going to actually bring that pigment into that sort of water line. So again, like you see, got a line, back in with the clean water, brush it off so it's not got much water on it. You see what it's going to do, look, is it's going to work itself in. Again, clean, because what I want to do is just a bit of clean water in there, you see? I can go back and just finish that little bit in there. So at this point, if you added a little bit of salt, it would actually dissipate, but you've got to be quick with when you're using watercolour pencils. So let's do something similar here. So I know I'm sort of working on small areas. So if you want to work on 2 at a time, say, work on them in separate sections, or so you've got a space between, because what you don't want to do is have these colours running between each other, because there's quite a bit of water going on in there, you see? Let's move out a little bit. Okay, so again, I've got a touch there, like clean water, dry it off so it's not too wet, and then in we go with that water. See, do a couple at a time, you can work in there, but before that dries off, you want to be doing it before it dries, okay? Because if you do, then you're going to end up keeping that line, and we don't want that. Okay, see, look there, that's going to bleed in a little bit. See, if you put them too close, one merges to the other. So if you can, whilst they're doing try and keep them to one if you can. Let's do this one. They don't actually take that long because you've already sort of decided where the water's going and what colours you're going to be using in there. But, you know, just keep your water clean and keep sort of going back in. And every time you sort of start with that little line, you see there, look, back in your water, clean your brush off, and in you go with it. Okay? Like so. Clean your brush, a little bit of water. All right? Let's do another. So I'm going to work my way round this piece. And each time I'm going to fill in these little sections. And I can do a few there. See, that's drying now, as long as I don't want to go too close. I don't want to mix the orange and that purple. I'm going to end up with something a little bit brown. Don't really want that. But I say, it works quite quickly. It's a really good practice piece, actually, because you don't have to think about which colour's going with which and all that, because they're all going in different directions. And of course, if a little bit of it isn't quite blended, it really doesn't matter because you're getting this sort of faceted kind of a design anyway. So, okay. Just realised actually this water at home is colder than the water at the office. The back of my hand's a bit chilly now. Cleaning water out. Let's see, sort of little bits, working my way around. See, some of the smaller ones, they don't really need that constant dipping in and out. It sort of does it itself kind of thing. Let's see. Now you'll notice that I've got a couple of spaces where I haven't put any pencil. And that's fine because we want to keep a few of them kind of white, just to give us that little bit of a representation that it's got a little bit of light coming through it. Okay. So again, I tend to put my pencil on in layers, you know, don't be too shy with it, but ease off when you come to that line because you see it blends out a little bit easier. You know, it takes a little bit of practice. The watercolour pencils are slightly different to work with than regular pencils, but you know, you've got that lovely sort of finish on them. Okay, right, I'm going to leave that to dry, and I'm going to come in with my regular pencil now, which I did have. Oh, there it is. Couldn't see for staring. Okay. So I'm going to sort of avoid anywhere around that area for a moment, and I'm going to come on in and I'm going to go around the whole sort of shape there. See, so around those, follow around. So it's almost following that first sort of like line, isn't it, really? Around there, but then come into this section. Okay, around my leaf shapes. See, with my leaves here, I can come in and put a little bit of pencil there because that one's definitely over the top of that one anyway. And goes back in there and along. Let's have a look. See how subtle that is. You could go in with an extra layer if you wanted it to be a bit darker. I'm going to go around the whole border. Right. And of course, if you wanted to colour in other bits and pieces on this with colour, I'm going to go monochrome because I want to make sure that this in the middle is sort of the most noticed. All right, Tortillon, and I'm going to work my way around those pencil marks that I've put in, swirling as I go. Swirling as I go. See, I've got a bit over the shape there. See how it just sort of it rolls off, doesn't it? It's nice to have the right tools and equipment, using the right paper and the tortillon. So I might as well go up there, follow it round, sort of see. It's going to lead me, see, back down. So the idea is, as we're working this around, we're going to try and leave a bit in the middle there that doesn't have any pencil at all. So we've sort of got a little bit of a kind of a highlight in there. Okay, I can perhaps go a little bit more. Okay, next bit there. That's quite small, so I'm going back and forth there. I'm not going to sort of swirl that around. It doesn't need to move too far. And into this one. So we go along. And then of course around here. And this bit, again, a little bit of back and forth, just to give that a bit of shading. Okay, let's have a little look at that. All right, so we've got that bit in the middle. Has it dried? Now you'll notice if your paper and your cardstock bends a little bit, just give it a chance, let it dry freely. I'm mostly dry, it's just that bit in the middle because I did do a lot in there. So I'm going to come in and do these shapes here. I think what I'm going to do is bring in, I can choose here, I can bring in a bit of colour. So I'm going to use just this yellowy colour and add a touch of it in there. You see, I'm not particularly colouring in especially, it's just giving it a little hint. Bring my paintbrush in, clean my water off, and let's roll it round a bit. Okay, beauty about using these is, see, it's very subtle. I just want a little hint. There you go. And I'm going to do the same on the leaves. Again, just a hint, so I'm not worried about colouring in particularly. And of course, clean brush again, dry it off a bit, and in we go. And see, sort of like so. Okay, gives it just a little hint. So let's have a look at going back to regular pencil on our little border here. So yeah, making sure it is dry around that bit there. And what I want to do is add a little bit to that inside line, you see? And again, a little bit. Now you've got to make sure that your pencils are dry before you do this. Okay, there, see, I'm going to go in there. And because it's a small area, I'm going to go back and forth and not swirl. All right, so don't want it to completely fill, but I do want it to soften out a little bit on that edge. Same look. All right, so how does that dry? See, that's practically dry now because I didn't put much on there. So I'm going to bring a bit of pencil in on that bottom edge. On each one. And how are they? See, they're fine, but we've already had a little bit of shade in there, so just a couple of little lines. So here we can swirl. Again, just make sure if you're using watercolours, it's dry. That's the nice thing about them, though, is you can actually go back in and add shades and things. See, look a little bit there. See, sort of zigzag and just wander it off. And because we've got that slight hint of colour in that bottom area, it just means that it's giving it a little bit of something. Okay, so back in with my pen now. My regular pen. And let's have a look, is that drying off? Yeah, I'm going to go around the edges of that shape with my pen, you see? I'm going to bring that out just a touch. That one there. Do that freehand so I can see what I'm doing. And same with that one. Okay, so we want that to be a little bit darker, okay? And the same around that centerpiece. So a little bit darker. Okay. Of course, if you wanted to, you could do this on a dark tile, and then you could bring the colours out with the new black edition, or you could use your regular pencils and do that, or you could use just plain graphite if you wanted to. Just going to bring a little bit of lines, and now I'm not going to do the whole line, which is why, let me just take that in a bit. So I'm just going to do a part of one, which is why I'm not using my straight edge, because I'm taking on the odd one. You see? just to enhance those little bits. So you're going to get some that are slightly darker than others, you see? That's what we want. A bit there. Okay, maybe just sort of a bit there as well. Okay, let's have a little look at that. So you see now you're getting that little bit of depth. So once that's dry, I'm going to come in with my pencil and let's have a little look at this. I'm not going to touch the middle, but where I've got some of these darker pieces, I'm going to add a little bit of pencil, see, and then Tortillon, soften it out. Okay, so let's go with this one here, a little bit there maybe. You see, I'm not putting much on because it doesn't need it. I don't want to hide the colour underneath. But it's going to give it a little bit of a shadow kind of thing. That's what we're after. So you can choose the pieces you want, or you can keep it without this if you want, but it's nice to have that little bit. And maybe a touch up there. You'll notice that the white bits I've not touched at all. You can do. I have got some graphite on my Tortillon. I can come in and add a little bit. See, it's just grade it off a touch. Just took it back a bit, but I'm not going to put any pencil in there. And let's bring it round. Just not too much. Just around that shape. Like so. Tortillon back and forward. Back and forward. Okay. So let's have a little look at that, see where we're at. Okay, so you can actually build up a little bit more colour here. I think I'm going to add a slight darker yellow in there. Just on that top edge there, see? So on top a little bit of colour. Now, because I've already sort of watercoloured, I don't have to bring water in at this point. I can choose to just add that little bit and leave it. Gives it that little hint there. A little bit of pencil around there, I think. Just to make that look like it's behind. And then I'm going to bring a bit of green. Just a little bit to these leaves here again. We've already got a bit of colour underneath. So I don't particularly need to add any water, although I'm going to add a touch. Let's have a look. So, smaller brush. You see there, there's quite a bit of, what's that, clean brush. Only a little bit of water. Just going to pull it out a bit. See, it just sort of takes the edge off. And see there, look. Well, I've got that line. Let's just tease that out a little bit. But I say you don't have to use water with them. Just work it in a little bit. So let's have a little look. All right, last thing to do then is a bit of a signature. So don't worry about colours. If you don't want to use colour, you can just completely go monochrome if you want to. But it's nice to have that bit in and experiment a bit. This would look great in all sorts of colours. Or you could decide that the shape in the middle you could do as a heart or a circle, whatever works for you. But there we go, there's our tile number 446 for the 31st of May. So I hope you've enjoyed it and have a great weekend. If you come into Stoke, I will see you tomorrow morning. Yes, Leslie and I are going to be there. We've got a bit of time that we just need to set up, so we'd appreciate if you could sort of stick to the times on your letter. That would be great. And other than that, we will see you there. But if you're not, have a good weekend, everybody. And I'll catch you again on Tuesday for our next tile. So enjoy. Take care. Bye.